This is KGW News at 5.
Together, we've managed to turn back the tsunami of new infections that very nearly swamped our healthcare system.
The Oregon Health Authority says COVID numbers are headed in the right direction this holiday weekend. It is worried about a possible surge like in other states, but for now, it's easing up the mask mandate in some places. Galen Etlin explains the changes for you and students in school.
For months, Oregonians have had to wear face covers outside in crowded areas to prevent COVID-19. But now, Oregon Health Authority is lifting that mandate.
Recall where we were when the mask regulations were first implemented last summer. Our daily cases were numbering in the 4 digits, and our hospital census was more than double what it is today.
The numbers show that progress. As of the week of Thanksgiving, Oregon COVID cases are down 64% since early September, giving the state the 4th lowest number of cases and 6th lowest number of COVID deaths in the country. Hospitalizations for COVID are down too, about 66%. But for now, OHA is not thinking about removing the indoor mask mandate.
This disease remains incredibly unpredictable, and we've seen over 30 states now seeing significant increases in COVID. We know that could be in our future.
OHA says it was caught off guard earlier this year when restrictions eased up and the Delta variant spread so quickly. It's now taking a more cautious approach, so Oregonians have realistic expectations and maintain trust in public health.
We don't want to, set a metric today that looks good today, but a month or 2 or 3 or whenever it is from now, all of a sudden turns out to be the wrong metric and we have to change it. And then what people feel, I think, is a sense, in some cases, of betrayal.
The other big update Tuesday was about schools. The Oregon Department of Education says now if students are exposed to COVID in a school setting with masks, they can remain in school as long as they continue to test negative.
Will greatly reduce the number of students who miss school due to quarantines.
This new test-to-stay protocol would not apply to those exposed during extracurricular activities or outside school. The state is urging parents to get kids 5 and up vaccinated to further reduce transmission risk and the need to quarantine. OHA also encouraged adults to get COVID booster shots. With so many people trying at once, that's kind of tough, especially in more populated areas like Portland.
It may be a bit of time before they're able to get those appointments.
This time, without help of the National Guard and collaboration of major health providers, it's unlikely mass vaccination sites will return. So OHA says, be patient during the first big wave.
Those people get through the system and the demand gets much more manageable pretty quickly.
Oregon's most severe cases remain among those unvaccinated. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
A number of people have told us it's been difficult to schedule an appointment to get the COVID-19 booster, but there are other ways to get the shot. For instance, the Costco website says many locations are able to accommodate walk-ins. On the Oregon vaccine website, other pharmacies like CVS and Safeway are doing the same thing. There are also free walk-in clinics like this one at Tektronix, a business in Beaverton. The Washington County website says it's one of the clinic locations the Oregon Health Authority is helping organize. We spoke with one woman from Hillsborough who told us she'd been looking for appointments at different pharmacies but kept striking out.
Yeah, we were just surfing on the web and trying to find the right, one, and wanted to get it done before Thanksgiving. And so saw this one and saw it was an open clinic. So we just decided to drive over and get in line.
The best source of booster information are state websites, the GetVaccinated.Oregon.gov site, as well as the vaccine locator site for Washington State. From vaccine boosters to vaccine exemptions now, and a doctor in Washington who's giving out those exemptions for a price. Maggie Vespa's here with more on that. Maggie?
Yeah, Laurel, as you know, our sister station, King 5 in Seattle, got a tip about this doctor and basically her deal, which boils down to, in short, want a medical exemption for the COVID vaccine? Well, in her office, you can get it for a couple $100. The investigative team found that out by taking hidden cameras into that office and posing as patients. Time and time again, the team found Dr. Anna Elperin of Ellensburg, Washington, issued medical exemptions for the COVID vaccine and in some cases for wearing masks. All of this in exchange for a fee, usually $150 to $200. 4 undercover appointments produced 4 vaccine exemptions. Here's a preview of this piece, starting with investigative reporter Chris Ingalls interviewing one of his producers who again posed as a patient.
Did the doctor ever ask you if you had a medical condition that would exempt you from a vaccine?
Nope.
There was zero discussion about why I wanted this medical exemption. And, she asked me, are you healthy otherwise? And I explained, yeah.
And you never asked her if she had a medical condition.
I would have no way of knowing any of this based off just a vaccine exemption form. I would have to go back to their chart. I don't have that information stored to memory.
Yeah, so that was the doctor herself. She obviously sat down for an interview with King 5, and as you can see, Chris confronted her with what the team found. We'll have the full investigation at 6 coming up on the story.
Boy, it sounds like a not-to-be-missed investigation.
You definitely want to see it.
Thank you, Maggie.
Sure.
And developing in Vancouver tonight, a 16-year-old student at Legacy High School was hurt in a stabbing. The good news is the teen has been treated and released from the hospital. The stabbing happened yesterday off campus. Police say the attacker was another student at the school. The 18-year-old was arrested. The suspect called 911 after the stabbing and turned himself in. It started with a traffic stop and ended in a shootout at a home in Happy Valley. Tonight we're learning more about how a Gladstone police sergeant was shot in the leg. A suspect was hit too. Kylie Boshi went to the scene today, and he's in the newsroom with an update. Kyle.
And Laurel, this all started as a routine call, a traffic stop around 8 o'clock last night in Gladstone. Police discovered the driver, Yvette Laura's Garcia, had felony warrants for her arrest out of Texas on theft charges. After police arrested her, Garcia asked if officers could check on her 2 dogs at her home in Happy Valley. Well, that's when things went bad. Police say Garcia was able to break away from officers and run into her townhouse, where she grabbed a handgun. She started firing, hitting a Gladstone sergeant in the leg. Police returned fire and shot Garcia. Dozens of officers responded. Police cars lined the street near Southeast Causey and Stevens Road. That's near Mount Scott Elementary and the Eagle Landing Golf Course. One neighbor, named Denise, said she heard roughly 7 gunshots. She asked us not to show her face.
I assumed the shots would have been down the street at least and not right next door. So right next door, as on the other side of the wall.
The injured Gladstone officer, identified as Sergeant Travis Hill, is in stable condition. The suspect, Garcia, is in serious condition, and no word on what charges she will face.
Thank you, Kyle. A MAX operator is being hailed as a hero after he helped stop an attack on a platform this weekend. And all he needed to do that was a phone cord and a flashlight to get the suspect under control. Chris Parker was driving a MAX train on the Green Line Friday night. But when he pulled up to the Clackamas Town Center stop, he saw a man swinging scissors at other passengers. At first, he tried to keep people away from the man, but the suspect pinned one of the passengers to the ground, and Chris knew he had to step in.
We're here to make people feel safe, and so we don't have weapons, that we at our disposal. The only thing I had was my flashlight, a 10-foot phone cord that's braided, and so I ended up grabbing that from my bag and tied his feet together so I could keep him kind of like under control, and I sat on his feet.
Wow, way to go, Chris. And Chris says the 2 passengers involved were also key in helping him hold the man down. The sheriff's department did arrest the man. They believe the attack was racially motivated, so the suspect is now facing assault and bias crime charges. The holiday travel season has started at PDX. Today and tomorrow are expected to be some of the busiest days for the airport. Bryant Clerkley is live at PDX for us tonight. And Bryant, we hear travel is way up compared to last year.
That is right. Hey, Laurel, 500,000 people are expected to come through this airport during this Thanksgiving holiday season. That's 300,000 more people than last year. And as people come through the airport, they're going to notice a few changes or some things that they should know about. There's no longer a hallway connecting all gates past security. So you have to make sure you have the correct departure gate so you only go through security screening once. And bypass hallways are used to safely move people around construction sites. They may add a few minutes of walk time though. And a lot of the travelers we spoke with say after a long year of no flying, they're ready to see family for the holidays.
Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't in any airports last year, but yeah, I feel fully comfortable. I'm vaccinated, so I'm not really worried about the virus, whether I get it or not.
When it comes to food, solid things like breads, meats, and vegetables can be packed in your carry-on bag, according to TSA. Liquid should be carefully packed in your checked bags. And officials want everyone to know that if you're coming to catch a flight here at the airport, since it's going to be so busy, you're going to want to come at least 2 hours before your plane leaves. Back to you, Laurel.
Well, we wish everybody safe travels and a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Bryant.